All right, so now that we've taken out the foam material that was very dusty, ripped off the existing headline, all that's left is really the structure or the backing plate of the headliner. What we're gonna do is lay out the new headliner, and let me go ahead and show you what the new headliner looks like. And we're gonna mate it to this structure. In order to do that, we're actually gonna use a bottle of this Permatech automotive headliner adhesive. And as you can see, the goal is just to bond the existing or the new headliner to this existing kind of structure. And all we have to do is just spray it on. I don't really have a mat, so I'm gonna spray it on this little black mat and hopefully it doesn't get as messy, but we're gonna make do with what we got. Is the headliner that we have now. And this headliner already has the foam attached to it. You can see this is the new material. It looks pretty good. And the headliner has the foam attached. So the old one, we scraped out the foam as well as ripped off the fabric. This one has the fabric and the foam pre-attached. So all we need to do is put it on. I forget the size I got. I think I got it just enough to fit the whole thing. So now that we laid it down, we're going to end up cutting it later, but we have a majority of it overlapped so we can actually fold it back. And we're just going to fold up half the side and just begin our process. So we're just blowing away some dust and we're going to begin spray painting this thing right now. So we're gonna spray about 6 to 8 inches away and overlap it. We're gonna let it dry 5 minutes between 2-3 coats. And so let's get started. All right, so we're gonna bond everything together in about a minute, but I just wanted to talk about kind of the process here. We sprayed it with multiple coats of this adhesive for headliners. It's supposed to be moisture resistant and heat resistant, so hopefully it'll have enough tackiness to last for the next few years. You can see that the whole thing has been coated, and you have to let it kind of get tacky for about 5 minutes, and it's pretty close to that at this point. You can see here it's getting kind of tacky, so I'm just gonna let it sit for a little bit, and then you have to actually have it bond within 30 minutes. So that's kind of what there is. It is time sensitive, and then it's gonna cure for 24 hours. So it's not gonna be ready to go. We're just gonna let it sit for about a day, and then at which point we can install it after that into the car. What you see here, all this kind of webbing, is the stickiness to it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay it over on one side. Once that's laid down, I'm gonna move over to the next side and then go from there. So this next part's gonna be a lot harder because there's gonna be ridges. You have the dome light, you're gonna roll it through the top, crease down on the bottom, make sure that's sticky, and then come back around the area where it bulges out. I think that's going to be the hardest part because it's really not uniform, and I think what I'll have to do is crease the middle first and then work my way around the sides. So let's get started again. So now we're about ready to apply the second half of the headliner. I'm going to use this roller, and this time I'm going to just do an inch at a time. What I'll try to do is just roll it forward a little bit and just let it stick through. I'll take this paper towel out so it doesn't stick on it. It's super adhesive at this point. And so we're just moving it forward slowly. And I'll take a roller and just roll it through just to make sure I get the air bubbles out. All right, for the most part, it looks 95% good. I did kind of mess up at the back because I creased it as I was rolling it on the first go. But because I did the back where the front has more creases, I was able to get the contours going in the right way. So we're gonna let it cure. What I'm gonna do right now is lift it on the other side, cut around where I don't want material. And then from there, I'm gonna use the spray and tack on the other side because I'm gonna fold it such that it won't hang in the future, or if it comes down again, at least it has some binding just to hold it together. But it's looking pretty good. The process has gone a lot smoother than I thought, with some learning experiences along the way, but I'm just kind of moving it around just to see different angles. Besides that little crease there that I messed up on, which I think it's gonna be a lot better than before anyways, but this front part where you spend most of the time looking looks pretty good. It's hitting all the contours here, and then where these door handles are, it's gonna look really nice. So let's get it on the table now, and then I'll finish off the rest. So the area is still drying out and it doesn't have much structure yet. However, I'm gonna start by actually tacking the surface and folding it over. That way it has some ability to kind of stay intact. The other thing I'm gonna do is actually start to cut grooves so I actually protect some of the holes. This will prevent this mat from sagging in the future, but at the same time, I still need to cut the holes at a later time. And it's actually better if I cut it when it dries fully. So right now you're gonna see me just make some cuts. That way it covers the headliner, but not every piece of it. So anywhere where I'm gonna have to make a cutout later, I don't want to expose and overlap the hole, otherwise I won't see where I'm supposed to cut. So as you can see there, I just cleared a hole here, and then this will be clearing this piece as well. When I bend this over, it won't even be close to the door handles, as well as the door handles will actually give a little structure and hold the headliner in place. All right, everything's bonded. I'm gonna go ahead and bring the car back in. I'm just gonna rest this headliner on top of the car. That way it can dry, and we'll pick this up next time for the install. When we come back, which will be a few minutes for you guys, but a few days for me, I'm gonna cut out all the edges, and then we're gonna put it back in the car. So it's been a little bit more than 24 hours, and the headline is pretty much dry. It looks pretty good. There's some blemishes here and there, but in terms of a completely torn headliner, I'm pretty happy with the results. It's a lot more flexible than the original one because I think the foam had gotten pretty crusty. But the material of the Corolla headliner was thin in itself, so there wasn't really much backing. But for the most part, with the foam headliner, it still holds enough shape to fit the contours. So I'm liking it so far. All we need to do now is just put it in the Corolla. So we have the headlighter in the car. I've loaded it up. All we need to do is just put it up and just put everything back together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on the tripod and start to just kind of connect and put some of the molding back, and you'll watch me do that from afar. So we're gonna put the clips back. We're sliding the rubber back, and then we're gonna pop this section in. Once we get the rubber, that should keep it in place. Perfect. Same here. We're just gonna get the rubber back on, but above the headliner. And once it's tucked in, we'll pop this back in as well. So this holds up the headliner, and the rubber seal keeps the trim in place. So we're at the driver's side, and we're gonna do the same here. We're gonna pop the trim, the A-pillar trim, with these red clips into these holes. There's 2 of them. All right, that's holding in place. Now we just got to stick the rubber on. Before we get the rubber seal back, we just got this in. We got to actually put this completely in. So we pop this bottom part out. We're going to snap it back in as best as we can. Perfect. And then we just need to get this top part in. In order to get the top part, there's just going to be a clip here that goes into the sidewall. Just need to bump this in. That's good. We just need to make sure the seal sits outside of it. So we're gonna use our fingers to press out the seal, and it's in. So that's good. And now we're ready to put this trim back, so we'll just slide it slowly across. So this entire side has been put back on, and all we need to do is do the other side. Right on the passenger side, we're just gonna pop this in and put the seal back on. And then last but not least, we just have these door handles. So we're pretty much done with the headliner install. I just wanted to wrap up with this final clip of what the final product looks like. So we're gonna take a look in the car and just take a look at everything. I pretty much wiped and detailed the inside of the car to get all the dust out, but based on the installation, put all the visors and handles back, so it's holding up the headliner pretty well, as you can see there. And this is pretty much the final product. Overall, The new headline fabric looks really nice. I'm getting real close so you can see the material. And everything kind of matched up pretty nicely. It is softer and looser than the original, but it's holding its shape pretty well. You can see the little contours and the details of the new headliner, and the glue's holding steady. Obviously, it's not a perfect match in terms of like little details here and there. I can show you like there's little impressions or bumps from kind of like me pressing down the glue. But I think that'll go away with time. But overall, I think it's a good install. I'm pretty happy with it. No more dust. You can see out of the back. And, you know, it just looks like it's not going to get in the way of the owner anymore. I would say this is a 2002 Corolla, so it's almost like 23, 25 years later. And so the car is starting to wear and tear. You can see the rubber trim here starting to peel. But in terms of this headliner, I think it'll serve them well for the next few years. And we're going to work on other parts of this Corolla to get it up into working condition. But I'm going to conclude this installation as a success, and hopefully you like this video. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.